Not only do Albertans have to deal with this ugly carbon tax that nobody wanted and has hiked prices on pretty much everything imaginable, but on top of federal and provincial taxes, we also have to deal with municipal taxes and fees. And of course, just when everyone isn't looking because they've been wrapped up in the Christmas season, we're hit with, you guessed it, more taxes and hikes on fees. Here in Calgary, it's no different, where the city has decided to hike user fees on anything from leisure centers to water, but mostly on fun, all while giving unionized city workers a 4% raise. This was a deal made during negotiations between the city and the Canadian Union of Public Employees, Locals 37 and 38, for a 4-year deal that included a total raise of 12.5% when the economy was strong. But there was no excuse for it then, and there's certainly no excuse for it now when you take into consideration that city workers make, in some cases, 20% above the equivalent private sector worker for doing the same job. And we also have part-time city employees making over $100,000 a year, except that was last year, and now some of those part-time workers just got a big fat raise. Leave it to City Council to punish Calgarians while increasing the pay for their buddies in the union, while private sector employees are being laid off and accepting pay cuts just to stay on their company's payroll. But let's talk about what price increases are in store for Calgarians that are already being bombarded with taxes from their governments, while city workers get yet another pay raise. Leisure centers will cost an extra 55 cents per day, while swimming will now cost up to 30 cents more. It will cost more for Calgarians to rent picnic spaces and ice time at rec centers and use recreational fields and pathway segments. And although the Calgary Parking Authority has promised to continue a price freeze, parking fees to privately owned lots like TELUS Spark, the Zoo, and Heritage Park aren't part of that freeze. Keep in mind that many Calgarians use these lots not only for family outings, but to park in and take public transit into the core. So all of the increases aren't just on fun. Monthly transit passes are being hiked by $2 and single ride fares are up 10 cents. Blue cart recycling fees are up 20 cents and water and wastewater will see a 2.5% hike and drainage will see a 7.4% hike. And these fees sound minimal, but we all know that these cents add into dollars, which add into hundreds and then thousands of dollars for taxpayers over time. The argument for every one of these increases is always the same too. Calgary has the lowest taxes in Canada. But that argument dies when we see businesses folding and people moving away to more competitive environments due not only to a bad economy, but bad government policies like overtaxing. What about cutting services and government employees instead of handing out raises and increasing the prices on everything at a time when Calgary has the highest unemployment rate in Canada at 10.3% and people can't afford it? This is always the place to look when cuts can and should be made rather than increases on everything. From 2003 to 2013, each taxpayer in Calgary spent over $8,000 on government employees, who are the biggest line item in the budget, and that continues to expand. This includes wages, salaries, and benefits for government employees. So while we pay for the government to grow, they find new and creative ways to take more money out of our pockets, using faulty arguments to punish fun and working people. Mayor Nenshi and City Council have spoken of new ideas on how to tax the citizens of Calgary, including introducing a municipal sales tax and new fees, including those on amusement and entertainment. Consider the latter done, no doubt, with more to come. All at a time when Calgarians and businesses need the relief the most after being punished with a carbon tax and simply whatever else the government can tax, while handing out rewards to their already overpaid friends in the union. For the Rebel.media, I'm Holly Nicholas. Thanks so much for watching. Have you signed up for Rebel emails yet? If not, click the link to the side so that you don't miss any of our updates.